I am putting the crab legs on the grill. They look good. Look at all that good old seasoning going through them. You all know that it takes two people to have a conversation, right? It takes two people to have a conversation. So Melissa has brought up this intro so that she can tell me what Wanda has said. Melissa has talked about Wanda and her sister to me. And so I'm sitting here thinking, so you tell me that Wanda said something about me and you didn't participate in that conversation at all? And I know how you straddle the fence and I'm supposed to sit up here and believe that you didn't say anything about me? How deep was this conversation? Hey, what's up everyone? This is your boy BENJI ADSENSE and I'm back with another video. In today's video, I will be eating these grilled crabs. Y'all see? I know it's been a minute since I put out a video. And that's simply because I have other interests besides YouTube. Although I thoroughly enjoy making YouTube videos. I have been receiving so many emails asking why I haven't uploaded a video, people inquiring about Melissa and I, people asking me about her, have I heard from her? And so I guess I will address some of that in this video. No, I have not heard from Melissa in a couple of weeks. Melissa and I were scheduled to do our 5th edition of MeLissaB. And a couple of days prior to that, Melissa and I had a conversation where I expressed to her that I'm not a person that's demanding or trying to be controlling, but I like to conduct things in a certain way. And as you all know, I put a lot of effort into my mukbangs, and so I kind of need to know what's happening a day or two prior so that I'll know if I need to set up and what I need to do, basically prep and that sort of thing. I told Melissa that I don't like feeling like someone is dealing with me only when they want to deal with me, especially when you're being paid to do this. So I paid Melissa every week to do MeLissaB. I had already paid her for the 5th episode of MeLissaB. And so I hit Melissa up, and this is a couple of days after I've already told her that I don't like feeling like somebody's only responding to me when they want to respond to me. I just can't, deal with that. So I asked Melissa, are we doing the MeLissaB tomorrow or do you need an extra day? Melissa says, I don't know yet. I'm going to tell you when I get out of this meeting. And I said, oh, okay. And so I'm just figuring, oh, she's at work. I know that sometimes she goes into the office, sometimes she works from home. And so I'm waiting for Melissa to respond to tell me whether or not she's going to do the mukbang the next day or not. So I never hear anything from Melissa. And then I get a notification and I go on YouTube and I see that Melissa's at a bar with a white girl. So at this point, I don't know what, by me saying this, I'm leaving the door open for her to come back and say anything or to make up any kind of excuse. But the way that I saw it was, I've already expressed to you that I don't like the way that we've been communicating. I'm not trying to be controlling. I'm just trying to get some clarity so that I'll know how to proceed. You told me that you were going to hit me back right after a meeting, and the next thing I see is you at a bar with a white girl. So now I see that you're being funny. I would really appreciate it if you were just being upfront with me and letting me know what it is, or if you don't want to do it or whatever. And so at that point, I just didn't want to deal with it anymore. She and we didn't have a falling out or anything. I just didn't want to deal with it anymore. So I was like, you know what? I'm not dealing with this. So I sent Melissa a text message. I was like, you know what? Even though we didn't shoot the 5th episode of Messy Mukbang, I appreciate you doing the previous 4 episodes. Keep the money for the 5th episode. I also had some trust issues. Now, I'm not saying that Melissa did anything to me. I'm just saying that certain personality types, I have to kind of separate myself from. Understandably, Melissa is one of those people who enjoys peace, and I do too. And she sees things from all sides, and I can appreciate that about her. But sometimes when you have that type of personality, you might not be aware of it, but you can sometimes be two-faced. And I'm not saying that she did anything. I'm not saying that she was two-faced. I'm just telling the story. You all tell me what this sounds like to you. A couple of days before I told Melissa that I no longer wanted to participate in the Messy Mukbangs, Melissa and I were on the phone talking. And if you all go back to my video where I'm talking about my hotel room is haunted, at the beginning of that video, Psychology Eats did a beautiful intro for me where she says, "Hi, this is Psychology Eats, and you're watching BENJI ADSENSE." And then she sings her jingle, I can't sing, so I'm not gonna do it. The way that came about is I emailed some of my favorite T-sector content creators, and it was only like 3 or 4 people, and I asked them would they do the intro for me. I messaged Silas, I messaged Psychology Eats, I messaged Wanda, and I can't remember who else I messaged. Silas responded to me, and she added me on Instagram, but I never just pursued it, so I was just like, oh, whatever. But Psychology Eats sent the video right away. I didn't hear anything back from Wanda, so I didn't think anything of it. But a couple of days, I received a email from her, and the email was a little bit weird. It says something like, "Oh, I don't mind doing the intro as long as you drop down in my chat, like my videos, leave comments." There were some more requests that I can't remember. And then she also included, "Oh, I'm just in love. I want to do a video like you and Melissa do. You can interview me and ask me questions. And if I don't want to answer the questions, then I just won't answer." And so I was just thinking, okay, I was like, well, I just asked you for a 10-second intro, and I was very clear about what it was going to be used for. Y'all saw how Psychology Eats did hers. So I was like, okay, and I was just being nice to her, and I was like, okay, we can do that. I mean, I really didn't have, what am I going to interview? I guess I can interview Wanda, but I'm not interested in interviewing Wanda, but I was being nice to Wanda. I like Wanda. That's why I asked her to do the intro. So she agreed to do the intro. When she sent the intro back, she just said that she didn't want to show her face and to slap a picture up there and just all these requests. So I just said, oh, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. So I just said, okay, I'm not even going to respond to it anymore. I just won't use it. I was like, I still like Wanda. It's not a big deal. But a couple of days before I stopped talking to Melissa, Melissa and I were on the phone and we started talking about the haunted hotel video that I did. And then Melissa said, oh, that was nice how you and Psychology Eats did that. And I was like, yeah, that was really nice of her. I said, I asked a couple of people. Melissa says, I know because Wanda called me. I said, Wanda called you? Why did Wanda call you? She said, Wanda called me and was asking, what is all this about that he's doing? And he's asking me to do an intro and this and this and that. I said, that's kind of weird. I wonder why Wanda would do that, because I explained everything in the email. I said, she and I have each other's phone number. I don't know why she would call you and ask you anything like that. So it's almost like Wanda called Melissa pretending like she didn't know what was going on and trying to find out more information about it. And she asked Melissa, was she gonna do the intro? And Melissa says, well, Wanda, we're already doing a segment together called The Messy Mukbang. Why would he ask me to do his intro? That doesn't make sense. But listen to this. The thing that bothered me, the thing that caught my attention, listen to this, y'all. Melissa then says, you know how somebody, they don't want to tell you what the person said, but it must have been bad, whatever the person said, because Melissa says, I don't know, Benji. I just wouldn't trust her. I just wouldn't trust her. I'm telling you, don't trust her. So she didn't tell me exactly what Wanda said, but whatever Wanda said, it must have been really bad because Melissa said, don't trust her. And after she told me not to trust Wanda, she then proceeded to tell me how Wanda is just really skeptical of everyone, and how when Wanda came to visit her, she told me, you know, she bought that sister, the manly one. I said, huh? I don't know what she's talking about because I didn't see any sisters, so I don't know what Wanda's sister looked like. But apparently, Wanda brought a manly sister with her to visit Melissa. And Melissa said that Wanda was kind of like, didn't want to participate in any of the activities and just was making things really uncomfortable and just didn't really want to do anything. So this is Melissa bringing all this back to me. But let me tell you all something. You all know that it takes two people to have a conversation, right? It takes two people to have a conversation. So Melissa has brought up this intro so that she can tell me what Wanda has said. Melissa has talked about Wanda and her sister to me. And so I'm sitting here thinking, so you tell me that Wanda said something about me and you didn't participate in that conversation at all? And I know how you straddle the fence and I'm supposed to sit up here and believe that you didn't say anything about me? How deep was this conversation? So I said, okay. So I had already decided to just cut ties. I said, okay, the communication is off. I'm telling someone how I like to communicate and they're not acknowledging that. I said, okay, you can just leave it alone. So I sent her the text message, told her to keep the money for the 5th episode. I no longer want to participate. I said, but let me go find out what Wanda's issue is with me and what Wanda had to say. So I said, Wanda must have really said some really bad things about me for Melissa to tell me that. I was irritated that Wanda had even called Melissa after I thoroughly explained to her what the intro was gonna, be about. It was a very simple thing. It was, you could have said yes or you could have said no. It wasn't a big deal. You should not have made a big production calling Melissa, and whatever you said to Melissa was bad enough for Melissa to tell me not to trust you. I was irritated. Wanda had told me in the email that she not only would do the intro, but that she also wants to do a video like me and Melissa. And of course, I wasn't gonna do the video like me and Melissa because nobody wanna sit up there and see Wanda, or at least I don't wanna sit up. I wasn't gonna do a video with Wanda like that. That's just all there was to it, okay? But I wanted to get to the bottom of what was said in that conversation. And before that, Wanda asked me, because she used some of my footage of Adrian. So I said, yeah, go ahead and use my footage. Not knowing that Wanda is thinking all these thoughts about me and has gone back and told all this stuff to Melissa. So after I cut ties with Melissa, I said, I'm going to teach you a lesson, Wanda. You're not going to use all my footage like you use Adrian's footage and think that you're about to sit up here and talk about me like a dog behind my back. I'm not going for any of it. So I simply struck her channel. And it's a strike. And it stuck. And so that's why Wanda made these videos cussing me out and doing all that. She was on the phone talking. Listen to this. Wanda tells me this in an email. Now, how are these two women having this conversation about me who I have not done anything to? Listen to what Wanda tells me in an email. Wanda says, now this is a conversation. Now, Melissa's telling me not to trust Wanda, but Melissa won't tell me what Wanda said. Now I instruct Wanda's channel in an email. Wanda's telling me what her and Melissa talking about. Now I already did 2 messy mukbangs with Melissa by this time, and she's on the phone with Wanda, and both of them are talking about me, and I ain't did nothing to either one of them. Wanda tells me in an email, the only thing that I said was, I was wondering why you got so upset with Killer for calling you Jamal Lyons. Wanda, are you slow? I mean, I know you don't have no teeth, but do you not have a brain? It's offensive when a man is coming at another man calling them out their name. That's why I got upset, because he called me Jamal Lyons. He could have called me probably anything and I would have reacted the same way. It's about the disrespect. So then Wanda goes on to say that she told Melissa, I don't know why he got so upset when Killer called him Jamal Lyons. If he's gay, he just needs to own it. Wanda, I don't need to own a motherfucking thing, because I don't come on here talking about my private life. I don't come on here talking about who I'm dating. So you see what I give you. You don't know how I live when I cut this camera off. You don't know if I'm in a relationship. You don't know if I'm single. You don't know shit. So I don't need to own shit. What you need to do is own minding your own fucking business. And based on what you told me, I realized that you and Melissa had to have a long ass conversation about me. Because you said some other things in your email that let me know that this conversation that y'all had about me was a long conversation. And then for Melissa to come back and tell me not to trust you. So I can't deal with people that straddle the fence. I can't deal with people who don't respect my time. And I will not tolerate people using my content, pretending to be nice to me, but really on the phone talking about me like a dog, because that's what happened. Now, Melissa came on here talking about that she wanted to cuss the MF out and all this stuff. Girl, if I were you, I would just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. I'm not upset. I'm really not. And when I say I'm not upset, it's real. Like, I'm not upset, but I'm not going to allow the disrespect. So please don't try to justify or say, oh, this was this, or this. It is what it is. It's not to the point to where I feel like I don't have no type of hate or nothing like that towards you. I just want to be respected. And if I feel like if I'm respecting you and trying to make sure that you're okay, I need that in return. I don't go for anybody taking me for granted. And I had already told you that's how I was feeling. And you didn't acknowledge that. And then on top of that, you already told me that you're the type of person, instead of just telling people how you feel, that you'll just fade them out your life. You told me that. So it's like, no, you're not going to play these games with me. Either you're going to deal with me and let me know like a grown person what's going on, or we can't do this. It's not going to be no fading out. It's going to be like communication, or that's it. And so I made the decision to end it. But don't think that I didn't know that you was on that phone talking to Wanda about me as well, because it takes 2 people to have a conversation. And based on what Wanda said in her email, the conversation was a lot more in-depth than you would have me believe that it was. And Wanda, I don't understand how you don't think that I could be upset about what you did. First of all, calling Melissa when I explained to you that it was just a simple intro, and then trying to dig into my business. How did y'all even get to talking about me and Killer? How did you two even get to talking about me and Killer? Why? So I haven't disrespected you, Melissa. I haven't disrespected you. You can come on here and address anything you want to address. If there's any lies told, I'm just going to show the receipts. That's it. I think that we can still do commentary on the same people. We still in the same sector. I still see you as part of the sector or part of the family, even if I'm not communicating with you on that level anymore. I still consider you part of the family, you know, in this sector. Until the next video, loving your friends, your family members, and remain safe. And with that being said, I'm out.